So I'm actually not making the video that a lot of you guys probably think that I am when I have the title here. What I'm actually saying is that it's just a reason. There's just a reason that a woman over 30 is single. Okay? And it's likely the same case for a man who is over 35 and single. Okay, there's a reason. It's not always a bad thing. It's not always a terrible thing, or she's damaged goods, or she's used, or whatever. It's just likely the case that about 80 to 90% of the time, there's been something that's happened in the past for her that's caused her to be single in the present moment after she's 30. Okay? And again, I'm not hating on women in this video. I'm not trying to do anything of the sort. I'm simply saying that as a man, if you're looking to get involved romantically with a woman and she's over 30, you just better be careful, because there's a reason for that. Now, I'm 29 years old. There have been times where I have been interested in women older than me, and I will say without a shadow of a doubt, it never works out. It never worked out. And it's not just for me, okay? This is also with relationships that I've seen men dating older women in general, or women that are older than them anyway, specifically, not older women. Because really, after 30 years old, women are not old, okay? Neither are men. Men are just getting started physically as far as their prime goes. Yeah, it's true that women are not as attractive maybe as they are in their 20s or whatever, but guess what? A lot of them are very attractive still, especially if they take care of themselves. If they have the light of Christ emanating through them, they're still very beautiful women, especially on the inside, but even on the outside, okay? And these are women that I would encourage you to, if you're a male that is like 35 and older, and maybe you haven't gotten everything together that you possibly could, but you still want to have a family or whatnot. If you date a woman over 30, just know that there's a reason. Okay? Just know that there's a reason. It's not a bad thing. You just need to figure out the reason so that you can figure out for yourself whether or not you want to pursue that relationship. Okay? I think a lot of men also that date older women than them, I would say 90 to 95% of the relationships that I've seen, actually, I think that percentage is even higher, because I've only seen 2 relationships that have worked out where the man is younger than the woman. Me personally, that's just what I've seen. I'm not giving you a hard, cold, raw statistic here. I'm just giving you my life experience. I'd be very interested to hear your guys' experience on this as well, because, for the women out there that are over 30 watching this video, it's not over for you, okay? Like, if you're single and you actually do want a family, like you didn't really mess around in your 20s. You didn't play around in your 20s, okay? If that's you, the chances are not really high, but I would say on this channel, on this community, with the Regal Change community, it's more higher than anywhere else. And if you're that kind of woman, or maybe you've gone through a marriage or something, and there's been terrible things that have happened and whatnot, but now you're in a better place, okay? Life isn't over for you, okay? In many ways, life is just getting started. And this is a bit of encouragement to the ladies out there as well, because I think a lot of women, they're obsessed with their youth, because they know that their youth is where they're most valuable, okay? A woman's beauty and her youth are her most valuable assets. It's just the case. And women know it. They just don't want to always admit it sometimes. But women that can age gracefully, the beauty that comes from them radiates from the inside. I once met a lady who was in her 60s or 70s, and she was one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. It wasn't that she was, radiant in her physical appearance, but her spirit was just so pure, and she was so childlike. She wasn't childish, she was childlike. And I've made this distinction, and I've had people that I've talked to in communication recently, we've talked about this distinction with people is the difference between being childlike and childish. And this woman was just so childlike, you know, she was just so radiant. And she had this beautiful long hair, you know, because in the Bible, maybe I might be paraphrasing this, but it says like a woman's glory is in her hair or something like that, or a woman's hair is her glory. It's in Proverbs, I believe. Maybe it's even Proverbs 31, describing what a biblical woman and a traditional woman is. But I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly if that's a paraphrasing or not off the top of my head. But you know, I'm making this video also because we're doing the Art of Seduction class series beginning on Saturday this week for the Regal Change Academy. And now's the time to enroll in that class if you want to enroll. It's not going to be just about romanticism. It's not going to be just about trying to seduce people. It's about why people are trying to seduce you. Why do you want to seduce other people? Whether it's sales or whether it's business, whatever the case may be, what are you trying to sell? Okay? What are you trying to get? What are you trying to establish? All right? That's because seduction is not always about, because true seduction, if you're a true seductive person, you understand it's not about trying to get something from other people. It's like, what do you have to give to entice that person to stay or to get what you want? Like, you have to give a little to get a little, right? A true seducer understands whatever they have to value and to offer. That's what's going to be like the bait, you could say. But, you know, that's another story for another time. But it's going to be that class is going to be directly related with the archetypes of seduction. And we're going to be reading The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. Not the whole entire book because it's like 400 pages. And it's going to be a 6-week class, but yeah, it's going to be a good one. But you know, to expand upon the topic here, I think a lot of men will say like, oh, well, women once they hit 30, they're useless. You know, they've got a lot of baggage, and sometimes that's true. In fact, most of the time it's true. But there are also good women that have just not had the opportunity to, maybe they just didn't have the opportunity to leave the house, or they didn't go out and make something happen for themselves. Maybe they're good people, but they just didn't try to like make something happen. You know, maybe they wanted some man to come to them a little bit more. And ladies, if that's the case, you've got to make something happen. If you want a man, you're gonna have to let him know in some way, shape, or form. Okay, because many men nowadays, they are, we talked about this a little bit in the Bible study in the Regal Change Academy group last night. Like, a lot of men just don't want to go to jail. They just don't want to go to prison because of any kind of false accusation. Because anybody can make a false accusation nowadays. I mean, you can just look at a person and it seems like, you know, that, at least for a lot of men. For me, I know that's never going to happen, like in the way that, okay, I won't say never going to happen because, you know, only a Sith deals in absolutes. But for those of you that get that reference, I applaud you. You're awesome. But only a Sith deals in absolutes, right? So it's not that it's never going to happen, but the chances are it's very, very minimal, because I have women at the gym that I can't get them away from me. Okay? I cannot. Go away. Like, I can't actually get them away unless I physically move, or I have to like actually physically push them. And I'm not going to physically push them or anything like that, because that would be assault, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not an assaulter person. Assaulter? Assaultist? What's the term there? I don't know. But you get the point there. You get the point. I'm just not that kind of person. Okay, I'm not that kind of person. I'm not going to do that kind of a thing. It's just not in me to, be violent toward women. It's just not me. I know that I can beat a woman if I really needed to. I'm not afraid of women at all. I'm not intimidated by women. I just don't like a lot of the behaviors that women are exhibiting, and a lot of men agree with me. Primarily, we just want loyalty. That's it. Like, really, that's what it comes down to. Can you be loyal to us, and can you follow our lead? Now, a lot of men, to be fair, can't lead their own lives. They're just simply incapable of managing their own lives. And this is understandable, okay, because they just haven't been given the tools. But is it excusable? No, it's not excusable, not in the slightest. Okay, we need more men to be taking accountability for their lives. And that's what's so cool about working with, I've worked with over 350 people in one-on-one consultation and mentorship calls throughout the last couple of years. And without a shadow of a doubt, the most amazing thing to see is just how many men are ready to take accountability for their lives. They're like, look, I know that I don't know how to do this. I want to know how to do this, and I want help for you to keep me accountable. So I create like a plan or a strategy for them, especially like in the Godlike Master Initiation program. That's way more detailed, where we actually go through things and we actually have a plan that we follow, that it's a system, okay? I understand that people need systems, but sometimes the best kind of system, once you go through the system that I provide, is to create your own system now that you know how to build the system. Okay, so you want to just create something that's going to work for you. And look, if you're a man that has worked his butt off during his 20s and his 30s, and you've established yourself, okay, you have the social proof, you have the social status, you have these things. You've built your life, you've kept your health good, okay? You take care of yourself. A lot of men don't know how to take care of themselves. I swear, it's bizarre to me how many men just can't like do basic things. Like I'm not even talking like crazy things. I'm talking like just scrub a little bit more down in the garden area. Okay, just scrub a little bit more down there. Okay, especially after you take a plop. Okay, after you plop, if you're not taking a shower for a while, or you go to the gym and you don't take a shower and you plop, and then you're gonna go back around out in the community, I pray for the people that are around you so that they don't have to smell you. Okay, these are basic things. Okay, and when you get healthy, it's not even about really trying to be the most fit person ever. It's just about being healthy. That's it. Just making healthier decisions. You don't need to have a 12-pack or anything like that. A 6-pack, now that's a choice. Okay, if you want a 6-pack, that's a choice. If you want to be able to do certain things in the gym, like run a mile without stopping, I can't believe like how many people have never done that before, specifically men. It's like, bro, you're meant to be like a warrior and you cannot run a mile. Okay, this is serious. I'm not making fun of you here. I'm just saying you need to be able to run a mile. Okay, if you can't run a mile without stopping, that we need to work. We need some work. Okay, we need some work. If you can't do 10 push-ups without stopping, we need some work. Okay, we need some work. In fact, I would go to say if you can't do 20 push-ups without stopping, it's not even that much. Like this is foundational basic stuff. Okay, sit-ups. If you can't do 20 sit-ups without stopping, we need some work. Okay? You can't expect these women, who are a lot of them filled with trauma, to follow someone like you who can't even do 20 push-ups at a time. Okay? This is where consistency maxing comes into play. I've been talking a lot about consistency maxing recently. Consistency maxing is going to be way better than optimization maxing and efficiency maxing. Okay? If you want to be consistent in your life, if you want to be solid in your life, look, dude, you have to show up for yourself every single day. You must show up for yourself every single day. And I'm not even telling you what to do. I'm just saying that this is what's worked for me, and this is what I've seen that's worked for other people. What you do is your choice. You can choose to do whatever you want to do. This is your life. If you want to rot away and just complain about the nature of things, that's entirely up to you. That's your decision. I don't really think that's going to be a decision I'm going to make ever, because I know how to take accountability for my own life, and I know that I'm going to get a woman, God willing, that wants to be led by me, that wants to be a follower of Christ, that is a follower of Christ. And she's going to be warm, inviting, feminine, and empathetic. She's going to be a wife. Warm, inviting, feminine, empathetic. She's going to be a wife. That's all that I need. That's all that I need. I just need a wife with that acronym. Okay, I need a wife. I need someone that will listen to me, that can counsel me. She's not going to tell me what to do, that's for sure. And she's not going to be able to tame me, that's for sure too. But if she can counsel me, like, here's the thing that most women, especially over 30, don't understand. There are women over 30 that are single that understand this. And I salute those women. You know, good for you. However, for most of the women out there, unfortunately, over 30 years old, what they don't know is that a man has desires and needs too that he needs fulfilled. And there's way more happening from what he wants and needs from you than he'll ever let on. But that doesn't mean that you can't fulfill it. And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't want to fulfill it. And here's the thing. A man will not ask you of these things. But women out there that maybe have gotten this far in the video, this is what men want. And I'm not speaking for all men here, but for the godly men, I would say this is a good consensus. What we want as a man is a woman that we can be emotionally open with, but not weak. You know, we can be, it's not like we're emotional, but that we can express ourselves with truly. That she's not going to take that and use that information as bullets or ways of entitlement against us down the line. And if she does, then we're going to walk away, absolutely. Because here's the thing about godly men. We're open with ourselves. We're honest about ourselves. We express ourselves. We express our masculinity the way we want to express it. And if you don't like it, that's fine. We're actually going to move on. The masculine men. The non-masculine men are going to stick around in your orbit, okay? Because you think you're the center of the world. You're not the center of the world. Sorry to break it to you, ladies. At least the ladies that are over 30 and don't know or don't even care what a man wants. But what we want is a woman that we can express ourselves authentically with, that is going to be our domain of peace after a lifetime of war. Because a man that is actually masculine, that has gone through things, he's been in war. Maybe not physical war, but spiritual war and internal war. Yeah, that man's been through it maybe. Oh, not even maybe, definitely. Okay? We want that peace to come home to. We want that peace in that person. We want that peace in you. If you give us more chaos, now a little bit here and there, we can handle that. You know, if you want to do a few things, like if you're going to be emotional because, you know, you're just going through things and it's not crazy, but it's just a little emotional, we can handle that. It's no big deal. No big deal, woman. No big deal. Just come on and sit in daddy's lap and everything will be okay. All right? Come here. Come here. Everything's all right. But if you're going to try to cause problems for no reason, there's the door. And I think a lot of ladies over 30 that are single, a lot of them just don't care what a man wants. They just don't care. And this is why I say if she's over 30 and she's single, there's a reason. It might not be because she doesn't care, but most of the time it is. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying based on my experience. So be mindful, be careful. And man, if you're going to try to attract an older woman than you, okay, maybe she's not old, but she's older than you, be careful, bro. Be careful, because those are, in my experience, the most manipulative kind of women. Every single woman that I've had interested in me over like that is older than me, and she's like romantically interested in me, she's always trying to take from me. Literally, one tried to put me in jail because I rejected her. The other tried to steal from me. The other tried to threaten my friend. Like, it doesn't go well with women that are older than me. It just doesn't. But every woman that's been younger than me, even though things didn't work out, we're still like, it's like, okay, yeah, we're just not compatible. It's okay. Like, I say, look, woman, we're not compatible. Or, with all the narcissists that I was attracted to in my younger 20s, because they were, and bipolar personality, or they maybe not bipolar, but they were borderline personality. A lot of women with that too, especially younger women. But there were also some women, I remember one woman in particular. I haven't thought about her for many years, and I had a dream about her recently, and her name was Hannah. I'm not going to say her last name, because I don't really like saying names on the channel, but Hannah's such a generic name, nobody's going to be able to know who she is. But I remember her name, Hannah. And Hannah, she was by far the most like wife-worthy woman that I could have ever had. And she was into me, man. She was really into me, and I knew it. But for some reason, it was like my body rejected her. And it was because I wasn't healed from my own trauma. I didn't have that that sense of groundedness in my masculinity just yet. And this was, in high school, like, and kind of junior high too, because we did go to junior high and high school together. But yeah, I mean, it was crazy, man. Like, she was probably the most feminine woman I'd ever met in my childhood, and I just wasn't ready for her. I just wasn't. She was a feminine woman that saw my potential, and yet, like, I didn't want to walk that path just yet. And it's not like I regret it or anything like that. It's just like, sometimes a woman who's actually feminine is going to, she's just not going to be someone that's another man is ready for. Like, many men just haven't matured to the point to where they're ready for that feminine woman. It's just the case. So I hope, with all that being said, this was edifying or informative in some way, shape, or form. I hope everybody has a blessed night. It's nighttime here. I was going to say a blessed day, but wherever you are, whatever time it is, whenever you're watching this, stay blessed. Peace be with you. Till next time.